So today we're going to begin in standing. Please come to stand with your feet together and then take your toes apart and bring your heels in line with your toes. Roughly speaking, that will give you hip distance apart. And then just lean forward as a piece. So you're trying to keep the spine straight, just moving forward until you feel, and you can say to yourself, the weight is in the 10 toes. And then lean back as a piece towards the back part of the foot. Just noticing how your knees will begin to lock out as you go further back, and then come forward again till you feel the weight into the 10 toes, and then go back as a piece towards the heels. And still keeping this idea that we're a stick. Can you begin to go around to the right foot, into the toes, go round in a circle to the left toes, go back as a stick towards the back of the left foot, and around to the right foot. So just a few circles where we're moving essentially in our ankle joints, and then just reverse the direction of the circle. So if there was a laser pointer coming out of the top of the head, we'd be tracing quite a large circle with that laser pointer. And then begin to make the circle smaller and smaller until you feel yourself centered over the 2 feet. And now begin to lift the big toe sides of the feet and then the little toe sides. So just lifting the big toe sides and the little toe sides, feeling how the weight goes to one side and then the other, but we're also bringing movement into the knee and into the hip joint. And then stay on the little toe sides of the feet, and then just begin to take a few steps. Don't have to be completely forward, go around a little circle or a square. And then come back to centre, and then again just roll the feet a little bit from side to side. So we're just beginning to warm up the ankles, and then stay on the outside edges of the feet, and then again just take a few steps forward and backwards, staying on the outside edges of the feet, and then return, and then again just begin to roll the contact to the outside edges and the inside edges, and this time come up onto the balls of the feet, and then again just begin to take a few steps around the room on the balls of the feet, and then you land back on the 2 feet, and then once more just roll the contact from one side to the other, and this time come up onto the heels. So again, funny walk, check the elbows are soft, that you're not trying to balance through the elbows or the wrists or the jaw. Everything is nice and easy. Come back to centre, good, and then just rest. And then please bring your attention to your right foot and just begin to lift the heel. So you come up onto the ball of the toes, and then you bring the heel back down. So just lift, letting the knee come straight forward and then back down. Once more, just letting the knee come straight forward and back down. And then bring the left knee forward, so you're just lifting, allowing the heel to lift, come up onto the ball of the toe. Again, just lifting and lowering, and once more lifting and lowering. And now this time, keep the attention on the right foot. Can you just lift the front of the foot and then put it back down? So as you lift the front of the foot, the leg tends to turn out, and the hip begins to go back. So you're just allowing that to happen. Good. And then pause and do the same with the left foot. So just lifting the front of the foot, keeping the heel down, allowing the pelvis to kind of move back. So we're just gently, amongst other things, lengthening that hamstring muscle. And then one more time, just lifting, good, and then come back down. And then just bring the hands onto the thighs, and trying to keep a straight back. Can you just slide the hands down to the top of the knee, and then come back up. And if you can see me on the screen, I'm letting my bottom swing back to do that. So just trying to keep a straight back as you're just hinging forward, and then release, good, and then just one more time, just hinging back, good, and then release. And then bring your attention to the feet and begin to make some circles with the feet. So see how I'm allowing my knees to move as part of that circle, good. And then bring the attention to the knees and think of those the knees making a circle, and now begin to switch so that they're going in the same direction, both knees going in the same direction, allowing this circle, feel how it begins to come up into the area of the pelvis and the lower back. So it's rather like we're in an old-fashioned hula hoop, just allowing this movement to travel all the way up into the spine towards the head. And then bring the attention to the top of the spine and begin to reverse the direction of the circle. So as though you're travelling down the spine, bringing the attention into the pelvis, the knees, and then also into the feet. Good. Please leave that alone. Bring your right toes forward, and then the heel, and then the toes, the heel, the ball of the foot, and then the toes. Good. Come back to centre, and then bring your left toes forward, then the heel, the toes, the ball of the foot, the toes, the heel, the ball of the foot, and then the toes. Good. And then release, good. And then just lift your right heel again, so on the ball of the foot, and just make a circle, a vertical circle with the heel. So as though it's got a little pencil on the back of it, and you're just making a circle in space behind you. Good. And then pause, bring your attention to your left heel, just lift it and see, can you just make a circle in space with the heel. Good. And then leave that alone, and then now keep the right leg straight, just lift the heel and lower it, lift the left heel and lower it. So if you're keeping the legs straight, you'll feel how one side of the pelvis and then the other hitches up. So we're just beginning to bring some side bending into the spine, and each time you kind of lift the hip, you sort of aim it a little bit higher up the spine. So just getting this little wave going on through the spine. Good. And then pause, bring your attention to your shoulders, and then begin to lift the shoulders up towards the ears, and then just let them fall away from you. So remember, it's shoulders rather than elbows. You're just dragging the shoulders up to the ears, and then just let them release. And then once more up to the ears, and let them release. And now bring the shoulders just forward. So you let them come forward, allowing the back to round, the knees to bend, the bottom to tuck under. And then as you think of the shoulders going together behind you, you think of the tailbone just sticking out a little bit, just looking slightly up, so a slight extension. So shoulders forward, shoulders together back. And just notice as you're doing this, are you able to keep the weight mostly in the heels? So I'm not doing this or this. I'm just thinking of keeping the weight more or less in the heels as the shoulders come forward and back. And then can you begin to turn this into a circle with the shoulders, but allowing the spine to be part of those circles, and just keeping the elbows fairly soft, and then just reverse the direction of those circles. And just nice, easy breathing. Good. And then have the circles going separately. So and allow the knees to soften, So it's almost as though we're kind of doing one of those Olympic walking things, so exaggerating the movement of the hips, letting them be part of those circles, and then just reverse the direction of those circles. So just giving the spine, the feet, everything permission to be involved. Bring the fingertips to touch on the shoulders, and then think of circling the elbows together, but allow the back to round again, the knees to soften, and then as you begin to draw the shoulder blades together to take the elbows wide, allow that little extension. But again, you're just trying to keep the weight mostly in the heels. So we're working not just on the spine and the shoulders, but on our ability to balance. And then just reverse the direction of these circles. That's it. Really think of the shoulder blades drawing together as part of those circles. Good. And then release. Good. And then please bring your right hand onto the tummy. Palm is facing the tummy. And then slide the hand up to your breastbone. So, and can you see what I've done? I've turned the hand so the palm is facing forward. Let it come back down. Once more, slide it up till the back of the hand is in contact with the breastbone. And then cup your right elbow with the left palm. So the elbow is just facing forward. And then see, can you just push the elbow forward and back. So the elbow is just going straight forward and back. And can you feel, of course, actually it's the shoulder blade that's moving the elbow. The shoulder blade is sliding around the ribs and back to the spine. Good. And then let go. And then bring the left hand onto the tummy and just slide it up to the middle of the top of the breastbone and come back down. Just slide it up and then come back down. And then once more slide it up. See if you can keep the back of the hand on the breastbone. Cup the elbow with your right palm, just super softly. And you're just thinking, can you move the elbow forward and back? Just straight forward and straight back. So it's just feeling, oh, it's that that lovely left shoulder blade is just separating a little bit from the ribs. Good. And then come back to centre, and this time bring your right palm onto the left shoulder. Again, just cup the elbow, with the left palm, and then think of just turning the elbow to the right and come back. Now, as you do this, make sure you're softening the knees. So my left heel is lifting to facilitate taking that shoulder back. And turn the head and eyes to the right too as you do this. So head and eyes turning to the right. And then next time, stay looking forward. So you're still taking the elbow back. Pelvis is turning, knee is softening, the foot heel is lifting. Come back. Just stay looking forward and come back. Leave that alone. And then bring your left palm onto your right shoulder. Again, just support the elbow with the palm of the right hand. And think this time, so you're turning the elbow to the left and then coming back. So your right heel will lift if you let it, the knee will soften, the pelvis will turn, the head and eyes are turning to the left too, and then stay looking forward as everything again is just turning to the left. So what we're doing is just beginning to get the shoulder moving around the spine, a little bit of a twist going on in the spine. Good. And then please leave that alone. Now bring your right arm in front of the body, so it's just soft arm, sweep it in front of the body, reach up towards the ceiling, follow with the head and eyes, and take the arm behind you. So just nice and gently, one more. So again, don't fix the feet, you let the feet be soft and responsive. That's it, to just facilitate this movement. And now bring the left arm in front of the chest, reach it behind you. Again, letting the feet move, so don't fix the feet in concrete. They, just one more time, easy breath in, easy breath out. Now bring the back of the right hand, sorry, the palm of the right hand to the back of the head, and think of lifting your left heel, so back to that, hitching up the hip to reach the arm up and out, and then the other side. So again, see if you can include the feet, so as though we're trying to touch the ceiling to reach the arm out. Couple more each side. Again, just nice, easy breath. Good. And now form a soft fist with your right hand, soft fist, and begin to have the arm in line with the shoulder. Begin to circle your fist towards the ceiling and then behind you. So again, you allow the knees to be soft, that's it, everything to be able to move, that's it, just follow this fist behind you, just circle. So if your circles are only here, it's absolutely fine, just doing what you can, and then just reverse the direction of these circles. So you're just, as though you're trying to paint something on the wall here, just allowing everything to move. Good. And then pause, bring your attention to your left arm, again just forming a soft fist, and then begin to explore, can you make a circle forward and back with this left fist. Good. Keep looking at your fist. So can you feel we're getting the ribs to move, the spine to move, and then just reverse the direction of these circles. So again, you can have a little drop as you're reaching the circle forward. Good. And then release. Now bring your right hand, again with a soft fist, immediately in front of your nose and your eyes. So if you had a line dividing you, your fist is directly in front of your nose, and then begin to again make a circle, but you turn the head and eyes to see the fist, to take the arm behind you, so it's kind of bang in the middle, and then begin to reach the circle again forward. So again, keep looking at the fist all the time, and by observing this midline, it means there's something else happening in the ribs, the head and the neck. Good. And then please pause, have your left fist in front of you, in the midline, not to the side, the midline, and think you're making a circle in space around your midline. You're mapping out that midline, that's it, following the fist with the head and eyes. Again, so it's very different involvement of the ribs and the cervical spine. Good. And then release. Good. Now, please bring your right arm out to shoulder height, just to shoulder height, and think you're just sucking the arm into you. So not just letting it hang out there, suck from the elbow into you, and then just begin to turn the arm a little bit forward and a little bit back. So in fact, it's the arm is being moved because we're turning our middle, and then begin to look in the opposite direction to the arm. That's it. So looking in the opposite direction to the movement of the arm. Good. And then pause. Bring your left arm out to shoulder height. Good. Again, think of sucking the arm into the shoulder, and then begin to take the arm forward and backwards. Just first of all looking at the hand all the time, letting the feet and knees respond. Good. And then begin to look in the opposite direction to the movement of the arm. Good. Just a few more. Good. And then pause. Keep the right palm, the right back of the right hand facing the ceiling, and begin to reach it up and over to the left, and then come back. So the back of the hand, that's it, reaches up and over to the left. Good, and come back. Back of the hand, up and over to the left. Good. So again, you can let the pelvis move. That's it. Back of the hand over to the left. And now the left hand, back of the hand goes up and over. Good. And then come back. Back of the hand goes up and over. The right hand can reach down towards the floor and come back. The back of the hand can go up and over. Good. And then release. And now have your right palm turning towards the ceiling, and you reach up and over and then come back. The right palm reaches up and over. Good. And come back. Right palm up and over. Good. And come back. And then the left palm up and over. Nice easy breathing. Again, left palm up and over. Good. And come back. Isn't that a lovely stretch, opening on for those muscles on the other side? Good. Now pause. Bring the backs of both hands to touch above you. Good. And then come back. So you're reaching the backs of both hands up to touch and release. And again, look up towards the hands and come back. Look up towards the hands, and then stay with the backs of the hands together, and then just slide one hand a little bit higher and then the other. Just reaching. You can let the heels lift, hitching up of the pelvis. Good. And then release. Turn the palms up and then bring both hands to touch and look up. Good. Again, both hands to touch and come back, and then both hands to touch. Stay there with the hands once more in this prayer-like position, and see if you can slide one hand a little bit further up, the other hand a little bit further up. One hand, good, and then the other hand, good, and then release. Good. Please bring your right arm forward. So imagine it's in a tube, and you're just reaching it forward to give the thumbs down, and then you bring it back. So you're reaching to try and touch something, bring it back, trying to keep the elbows soft, the hands soft, and come back. And then the left arm reaches forward and come back. Left arm reaches forward, good, and come back. Both arms reaching as you're turning them, drawing the shoulder blades together to come back. Reaching forward, good, and come back. And forward, good, and then come back. Bring your right arm behind you, and think so where you have the arm is very dependent on your shoulder mobility. So you just have it as far back as you comfortably can without strain. So the higher the better. And then you think of reaching the arm away from you. Look towards the hand, and then you draw the arm towards you, still looking at the arm. So you reaching, keeping the arm as long as possible away from you and towards you, turning the palm in one direction and then the other. And then please bring your left arm behind you. Again, just where you can comfortably have it. And imagine you're reaching to touch something far away and above, and then you bring the arm towards you. So you let yourself move as much as possible to occupy the space or explore the space. Good. And then pause, bring both hands behind you. So obviously they won't go so high. Try and turn the palms up, so into a gentle extension, and then you turn the arms the other way. That's it. So again, you're reaching up and out. Good. And then drawing the shoulders towards you. And letting yourself move to do this. Good. And then release. Please bring your right foot slightly forward and out to the side, and come up onto the balls of the toes. Good. And then think you're going to bring the outside edge of the heel towards the floor, come up high, and then the inside edge. Outside edge, inside edge, letting your pelvis, everything move as part of that. But you're keeping the heel quite high each time you come back. Good. Pause. Take the left foot slightly forward and out to the side. Come up onto the ball of the foot. Think it's the outside edge, the inside edge, and moving down towards the floor. Nice, easy breathing. Good. And then pause. Take the right foot behind you, slightly behind you and out to the side, so you're quite high up on the ball of the foot. So as you've got big heels on, think of the outside edge, the inside edge of the foot, of the heel, reaching towards the floor. Again, you let the pelvis move as part of that. Good. And then release. Take the left foot slightly behind you. For those, I know many of you are walkers. Great little sequence to have before you go walking to really prepare the feet for uneven surfaces. So the heel is high, and you're just trying to allow the outside edge, the inside edge of the heel move in the direction of the floor. Good. And then pause, one last in the sequence. Take the right foot behind you, slightly out to the side, and then have the heel much lower but not touching the floor, and then think of the outside edge, the inside edge moving in the direction of the floor. So just affecting a different part of the joints of the balls of the toes. Good. Leave that alone, and then take your left foot behind you and out to the side. Come down quite low but not to touch. Think of the outside edge, the inside edge moving towards the floor as you do this. Good. And then please leave that alone. And just notice how my feet are feeling nice and connected. Good. Now please bring your hands forward, that's it, just press the tips of the fingers touching, and then just begin to reach the palms forward and let go. Point the fingers down towards the floor, bringing the heel of the hand together, release. Point them towards me, release, towards the ceiling, release, and then if you can, allow yourself to round as the fingers point towards the breastbone, and then release. So once more towards the ceiling, towards me, towards the floor, towards me, towards the ceiling, and then towards yourself, and then release. Now press the palms together, but try to extend the fingers back and let go. So just pressing the palms together, trying to get the fingers to extend backwards once more, and then interlace the hands super softly, and then just see if you can explore moving the hands around each other. And then just take the hands off to one side as you do this, so just changing the angles, and then you can just bring them to the other side. That's it. And then come back to center and change the interlace so it's your other index finger on top. And again, just begin to explore movement of the hands around each other. You can have the hands a little bit lower. You can take them out to one side, a little bit higher over to the other side. Good. And then come back. Good. Now hook the fingers over each other and think of just pulling your shoulder blades together to take as if you're pulling the hands apart, and release. So just hooking, drawing the shoulder blades together, release. But turn that around so it's the other fingers on top. Again, just think of drawing the shoulder blades together, release. Once more, drawing the shoulder blades together, release. And then press the palms together, keeping the elbows in line with the wrists. Turn that around, just press the palms together. And then just take hold of one forearm and then the other, and then just wring out the bones in the opposite direction. Release. Just wringing out the bones in the opposite direction. Good. And release. And then turn that around just to contract into those forearm muscles. Release. Contract into those forearm muscles. Good. Release. And then just see if you can wave the fingers sort of separately down and up. You get a little Mexican wave going. And then just give the hands and arms a little bit of a shake. So nothing violent, just helping all that area just to let go. Good. And then please interlace the hands behind the back and think of just drawing the shoulder blades together as you press the hands reach the hands towards the heels. And then just see if you can bring the hands to one side of the waist and then towards the other side of the waist, release. And then change the interlace to your other interlace. And think of rolling the shoulder blades together and think of bringing the hands to one side and then towards the other side of the waist. Good. Bring your right hand out to the side, turn the hand down, and then imagine you're in the shower. You're just trying to kind of reach parts of the back, other sides, giving maybe that opposite shoulder blade a little bit of a scratch. You can turn everything to facilitate that. And then bring your other hand out to the side, turn that down. Again, just see where can you comfortably explore in the back. Good. And then please bring your right arm out to the side, take it up towards the ceiling, turn the palm to the space behind you, bring the fingertips between the shoulder blades, and the other hand just kind of facilitates as you're sliding the right fingers over to the left. Good. And then let go. And then bring your left arm out and up. Turn the palm to face the back of the room. Bring the fingertips between the shoulder blades or on the neck. Other hand just supports the elbow, and you're just kind of exploring where can you comfortably reach. Good. Now interlace the hands, so not fists, but just interlacing the fingertips. And then please bring your halo of arms above the head. So the palms are facing the ceiling, and then just take your halo over to the right, come back, over to the left, come back. Do it over to the right. Good. Come back. Over to the left. Good. Come back. And then look to the elbow that's going down. And look to the elbow that's going down. So once more, elbow that's going down. Elbow that's going down. And then look to the elbow that's going up. Look to the elbow that's going up. Once more, elbow that's going up and elbow that's going up. Good. And then leave that alone. Good. And then just begin to move, I'd say the arms, but can you think less of the arms and more of your middle? So you're kind of initiating the movement of the arms. They're just being kind of flicked by the movement of your spine. Good. And begin to look as you're moving in the direction that you're moving. Good. And then keep the head and eyes looking forward, but you're still keeping this movement going, not fixing the feet. Good. And then just see, can you have just the eyes looking forward? So you're allowing the head to turn. Good. And then allow the head to go with the movement again. With the movement. Good. And then release. Bring the left arm out to the side. Extend the arm to touch the ceiling. Good. Bring the fingertips onto the other side of the head. The other hand takes hold of the elbow. And think of the elbow reaching, the left elbow reaching up towards the ceiling. And then release. Bring the right hand up and over to support the elbow with the other hand. And think of your right elbow going straight up towards the ceiling and a little bit over to the side. Good. And then release. And then begin to sit down into an imaginary chair and then squeeze the bottom to come back up. So you're just sitting down into this imaginary chair, squeeze the bottom to come back up, inhale to sit down, exhale, squeeze the bottom to come back up. 2 more to do. Exhale, squeeze the bottom to come back up. And then last time, squeeze the bottom to come back up. And then just bring the weight over onto your right leg. So you're shifting over to the right, but not doing this, We're shifting the pelvis over onto the right leg, so the left heel becomes light. And just see, can you balance here for a few breaths? Just trying to keep steady on that right leg. Good. Nice, easy breathing. Good. And release. Bring yourself over onto the left leg. So you kind of have to reach down into that leg as though you're pushing the floor away from you. And then just see, can you balance here, keeping the wrists soft, the breath nice and easy, the jaw nice and relaxed. Good. And then come back. Good. Can you once more come on to the right leg? So think of reaching that leg down into the floor to balance on the right leg. And then can you just make a few circles with the left foot in one direction and then the other. Good. And then release. Bring yourself onto the left leg so that you can lift the other leg up. Good. And then can you just make a few circles with that lifted foot, and then just reverse, keeping the jaw nice and relaxed, the wrists nice and easy. Good. and then let go. Please take your feet and knees a little bit wider, So as the feet and knees turn out, try to keep the knees in line with the toes, so not knees dropping in. So really think as if you've got one of those resistance bands and you're pressing your knees out to the side. Good. And then think of sticking your bum out behind you. So you're letting the pelvis tip forward, sticking the bum out. Just trying to keep as upright as possible. Good. And then just see, can you move the weight over into the left leg? And then push the floor away from you to come onto two legs and continue over onto the right. But keep the bum sticking out behind you. Keep this knee pressing out to the side. So you come onto two legs, transfer onto the other leg, keep the bum sticking out behind you, keep pressing the knee out to the side, and once more over onto the other side, keep pressing the knee out to the side, keep the bum moving behind you, and once more over onto the other side. Good, and then release. Just come back to centre. Better do a little bit of floor work. And please come to lie down on your back. Good. So just come to lie down on your mat, on your back, and have a little bit of support underneath the head if you need it. Good. And have the knees bent up, Good. And then, do you remember last week, so I asked you to think about the clock on the back of the pelvis, rolling the pelvis to 12 o'clock towards the head. And then you think of rolling the pelvis to 6 o'clock towards the feet. So just getting used to that movement. Rolling the pelvis to 12 and 6 o'clock. And then do you remember the idea, the image of the two balls, the two foam balls, one representing the chest and one was the tummy, so that when you roll the pelvis to 12 o'clock, it's not just the pelvis we have to think about, it's can you include the idea that the chest and the ribs can soften as part of that movement. And then when you go to 6 o'clock, it's as though those balls are just moving away from each other. So take a breath in. As you exhale, think of rolling to 12 o'clock, letting the chest, the ribs soften. And then as you inhale, you think of going to 6 o'clock, letting the two imaginary balls roll away from each other. Good. Again, just once more, you take a breath in, exhale, think of those two balls representing the tummy, the pelvis and the chest coming together, and then you think of them just rolling away from each other. Good, and then release. Please bring your left leg in towards you and hook your left hand behind the back of the thigh. So the left thigh knee stays pointing up towards the ceiling. Bring your right hand behind the back of the head. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lift the head with the assistance of the right hand and aim the right elbow between the knees. And then come back down. So you take a breath in. As you exhale, think it's those two balls rolling together, but aim the right elbow between the knees. Release back down. Good. And then one more time, take a good breath in. Exhale, think of the elbow coming between the knees. and then you release back down. Now pause and just change legs around, so it's the right leg that comes in, the left hand is behind the back of the thigh. Take a breath in, and as you exhale to lift, think your right elbow is going towards the left knee, not the lifted knee, the left knee, and then come back down. So you take a breath in. As you exhale, think the right elbow is pointing towards the left knee, and then come back down. Good. And one more time, take a breath in. As you exhale, think the right elbow is moving to the left knee, and then come back down. Good. And then pause and just change hands. So it's the right hand behind the right knee, thigh, left hand is behind the head. Take a good breath in. As you exhale to lift up, think the left elbow is going between the knees, and then come back down. So you take a breath in. As you exhale, the left elbow is going between the knees, and you release back down. And one more time, take a breath in. Left elbow between the knees, and then come back down. And then pause and bring your right hand behind the left knee. Left hand is still behind the back of the head. Take a breath in to prepare, and as you exhale, think the left elbow is going towards the right knee, and then come back. So you take a breath in. As you exhale, left elbow towards the right knee, and then come back down. Good. And then one more time, take a good breath in. Exhale, left elbow towards the right knee. Good. And then come back down. Good. Please roll to the side and come up onto all fours for some lovely cat stretches and variations. So just to remind you, if your wrists are a bit problematic, you can always roll up the end of the mat to give you a bit more cushioning, or do it on your knuckles is absolutely fine. Have the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And then take a breath in, and as you exhale, release the head. Pull in those two balls towards each other to round the back. Hold that position as you breathe in. And as you inhale, open, come into a gentle extension. So you take a breath in, exhale, round the back. So those two balls are kind of coming towards each other. Inhale, and then exhale to open. Good. And one more time, take a breath in, exhale, round the back. Good. Inhale, and then exhale, release. Good. And then begin to take a breath in. As you exhale, round back as you sit the pelvis back towards the heels. Begin to look forward. Think of the tailbone lifting slightly as you come back onto all fours. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, round the back towards the heels. As you inhale, begin to look forward to come back onto all fours. And now stay looking forward as you just allow the bottom to dock back towards the heels. Come forward, straight forward, and then send the pelvis back towards your right heel, and then come forward, and then send the pelvis back towards the left heel, and then come forward. Good. And then send the pelvis once more back to the right heel. Just see, can you polish the heel with the buttock, just wiggling the bum a little bit left and right, and then come forward, and then send the bottom back towards the left heel. And again, just see if you can stay there, keep the jaw nice and relaxed, and breathe just to polish that heel, and then come forward. and then send the bottom back towards your right heel as you slide the left leg back and away from you till that left knee just goes beyond the other foot, and then come back and then send the pelvis back towards the left heel as you slide that right leg away from you and come back. Good. And then once more go back towards the right heel, sliding the left leg away, and walk your hands in as much as you need to so that you can begin to explore bringing the pelvis, the tailbone down towards the floor, and look to your left as you do that, and then come back. So you're looking kind of over your left shoulder towards your left knee, and then come back so that you get this lovely side bending in the ribs, and then come back onto all fours, and then begin to take the pelvis back towards the left heel, sliding your right leg away from you. Again, if you need to, walk the hands in as much as necessary to support you, and then begin to look over the right shoulder as you let the pelvis come to the floor, and then come back. So you're just looking over the right shoulder towards your right knee, and then come back. Good. And then once more looking towards the right shoulder, over the right shoulder, and come back. Good. Come back onto all fours. Keep the toes pointed as you just allow the weight to move back into the heels. And then come forward, curl your toes under, and again just see, can you allow the weight to sit back onto the heels to stretch out the plantar side of the foot, and then come forward. Point the toes again, see if you can sit back towards the heels. Turn your palms the other direction as you peel down through the fingertips to the heel of the hand, and peel back. Good. And then come forward again, curl the toes under, and again just see if you can sit back on the heels. Good. And then if you can, come up onto your knees, squeezing the bottom, and come back. Good. Once more, come up onto the knees, squeezing the bottom, and come back. Good. And then come back onto all fours, curl the toes under, walk the hands back towards the knees, lift the knees, lowering the head, bring the knees back down, sit back on the heels. Good. So you bring the hands forward, lower the head as you lift the knees, bring the knees down, sit back on the heels. Good. And then one more time, come forward, lower the head as you lift the knees to bring the heels down. Keep the head released as you slowly press through the feet to roll up, squeezing the bottom when you come back up to standing. Good. And then inhale to reach both arms up, and exhale down beside you. Once more reaching and exhaling. Good. And then last time inhaling and exhaling down. So give yourself a clap. Thank you very much, everybody.